button first. That's gonna be what kind of day it is today. Hello, everybody. We'll wait for everybody to get in here.
It's Valerie, otherwise known as. Oh wait, no, it's not Valerie.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
It's
nope.
Sally, otherwise known as Sally.
Upside down picker.
Up. Upside down. Ooh, 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 ooh. Inside out. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Hi, Julie. Hi, Mashana.
I'm wound up this morning.
Yeah. Did you have some good sales this weekend?
I had real good Sunday, but crappy Friday and Monday. So I guess it evened out.
I see. Oh, there's
about average. About average.
Tara. Hi, Tara.
Hey, guys. I thought you
Tara.
stopped by. I haven't been on in a long time.
I know.
We miss you.
How you been?
Pretty good. How you been?
Busy.
Busy? Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Busy's better than dizzy.
Yeah, for sure. Holy moly, Julie had 62 sales this weekend. That's great.
That's good.
I have not been listing, so that's probably where my stuff comes in. But I sold 6 this weekend, but then I did like 150 on my garage sale.
Oh, you even brought out old Tom. You even got Tom in here.
Yeah.
Got old Tom.
She had to go back. She has to go back to work on Tuesdays, to the office on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So,
I made her come back in.
Yeah.
You talk about good sales. Bridget put out a video. She sold over $1,200 on Sunday. One day.
Wow. Wow. That is great. Good job, Bridget, if you're listening.
Yeah. And it wasn't all like one big item with a whole bunch, with several little ones. It was mostly just little stuff.
Yeah.
God.
I know Valerie's not here, but she had 53 this weekend.
Nice.
She freaking killed it. Yeah.
She okay?
Yeah, she's at the bag sale.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like she needs to go to the bag sale.
Well, you don't make time now. That's not the right way to think, because you make the money when you buy the stuff, not like, oh, well, I'm not going to buy anything until I list all this crap, because you go to the bag sale, you could have that one real big ticket items laying there. And
heck yeah. You're missing chances is what you're doing if you're, not going.
Yeah. Fear of missing out filled up my house, though.
Oh, well, I won't turn my camera on right now because I'm doing this big sort through of stuff. So I put the stuff like over the weekend right by my desk. So right now I'm surrounded by like pillars of like postal boxes full of crap that I'm going to take pictures of today.
Oh my gosh. Did you see all the crap that I had at my yard sale?
I saw your pictures. Yeah. How'd you do it?
I know for sure. I know for sure that my trash people hate me.
How'd you do at your yard sale?
I did all right. I sold like $150 worth of stuff, and I sold it super cheap. Yeah. So, and I didn't sell any of the really big ticket items, really, but they were good to put out there so that I could track people.
Yeah.
But people were just looking for really cheap stuff this weekend, and yesterday was horrible for me. I didn't hardly do anything yesterday because I think it was just so warm that people were out at the beaches having barbecue.
Well, you're kind of in that like northern lower peninsula of Michigan. If you get people that, come up for a vacation home, they're driving home on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it was when I lived up in Eagle River. You know, you'd have a lot of yard sales. Well, other than today would be the last day of what they call the St. Germain Flea Market, so that one gets hit pretty hard, but then everybody drives home after that.
I think Friday was my best day, which was weird because I thought yesterday would have been really good, but um Beth says that they were all too busy playing mini golf. They
Maybe.
they followed my signs and they found the mini golf instead. um yeah, it's just been, it's just been busy, like having to deal with that yard sale and stuff, and just by the time I get everything set up, I'm completely exhausted because I just got off work. So I'm, setting stuff up and moving stuff out of the house and all of that. And I got rid of
Oh,
a lot of stuff. I
no.
was at almost 900 listings before I started, and now I'm down to 5 something.
Mm.
I took a lot of listings off. I narrowed my store categories, and so now I just need to list.
Cool.
Yep.
I did get a lot of my garage cleaned out and reorganized. I still have to do some because I have because there was a couple of days there where we were supposed to get rain. So I was like, well, I can't leave all this stuff out. So I left like the plastic and glass stuff out on the tables outside and then moved everything back in the garage on tables. And so I just
Yeah,
did the best I could.
because
Hell, Sally, there's some people down in South Carolina that's been running a yard sale for 20 years, and I don't think they've ever taken anything in. They just wrap it up and cover it with plastic and clamp it down.
That's what I did. I took plastic because I have black plastic over my windows and stuff, and for the winter, and I just leave it up. I don't even take it down anymore. But I took that black plastic and I covered the tables, and then I put sheets over top of that so it would weigh it down, and it worked great. I will do that from now on because the clothes didn't get dewy. Well, I took all the clothes inside, but everything didn't get dewy or anything whenever I had the plastic over it. So I was like super, super happy. Yeah, if somebody can put the link in the reseller squad, I'd appreciate it because I can't do it today.
yeah, I think I
I'm
remember
like,
you showing us your garage like a couple of years ago, and you couldn't even look inside of it. And
oh
then
no,
you
I
showed it a
know
day
it
or
was
two
bad.
ago,
Yeah, it was
and
it
it's
was
like,
really bad.
oh, it's like the heavens opened up, and now there's space to walk in there.
Yeah, it is so crazy. And Valerie's like, wouldn't it be neat if like this winter you could actually drive your car in there? And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea.
Todd, are you folding socks, son? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm multitasking. I'm folding socks.
That's what I said. Are you folding socks?
Yeah. Anything wrong with that?
No, I just asked what you were doing there.
It's probably on his chore list.
Yeah.
Do laundry.
Yeah, I got to catch up on my domestic responsibilities.
Sally, when you get a chance, invite me to the reseller or whatever the name of that group was that you just asked. I mean, you just mentioned the Facebook group, the reseller Facebook.
The reseller squad.
Yeah, because I'm not in that with my new Facebook account.
Oh well, why not?
I don't know.
Well, you better get in there. That's how you figure out where to go.
And if anybody is Facebook friends with me and on the Thomas B. Hucks Facebook account, unfriend me because that account got hacked and I lost control of it, and Facebook did nothing to help me get it back. So if I lose this one, then I'm going off of Facebook.
Oh, that's why I shared a post with you and you never responded to it. And I'm like, God, Tom's being a bitch. I shared this post with him and he never even responded to it.
That's me. That is me. My new one is just Tom Huck. I'll share. I'll friend you, Tara. I thought I already
Oh,
had.
thank you.
Yeah, share it in the side chat so all the trolls can attack it.
Okay, maybe I'm already am. I don't know. I haven't slept any last night. I slept for about 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I laid down, went to sleep, woke up 30 minutes later, and I have yet to go back to sleep. Roxy, we are going to fight this morning.
What?
You know how long I slept last night?
You haven't
Wow.
slept any.
12 hours.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, day before that, I only slept 3. Day before that, I only slept 5. And so it's just, I fell asleep and I pretty much died in bed. I did not wake up at all.
Todd, are you folding baby socks now?
No, they're just all socks.
They just look awful little in the camera.
Will you quit saying
Well,
that?
the
Okay,
strip,
Tara's dog's talking to us.
I
those are
know.
Gwen's.
okay, those are the no show.
Come here. Come here.
Yeah,
I didn't know
those-
whether you were folding baby doll stockings again.
gotta hope not. That was a long time ago.
That's a dog, right, Tara?
Yes.
Okay.
A puppy. A big puppy.
What
A
else would
puppy?
it be? Her pet seal or what?
Yeah. Well, well, like back to the beginning of June, I had an old chocolate lab. She passes away. She's 16, so she lived
Aw.
a good long life. Okay, so we had 2 dogs for about 48 hours. And then I'm sitting here working on my desk. Brandon comes up to the window and is like, "Oh, Mom, Dad wants you. He needs help with the puppies." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be a snake or something. They found like a big black snake or something. They're gonna try scaring me with it or whatever." I'm like, "Ha ha, real funny. It's a snake, isn't it?" He's like, "No, just come." So I walk outside. Figure it's gonna be a snake. I walk down. There's like 8 puppies in our yard.
Oh
And I'm
my
like, you
god.
gotta be kidding me. Some asshole dumped 8 puppies in my yard. What the hell am I gonna do? Jim's rounding them up. He's
Oh
totally
my
puppy
gosh.
crazy. He's putting them in our kennel. So anyway, so we get all the puppies wrangled up. We figure out where they came from. The people across the street from us, there's like a farm across the street. Their dog had puppies. They got all these puppies and they can't get rid of them. And Jim's like, "Well, we lost a dog, so I think my son would like a
So you gained 8.
Yeah, so we took back 7 and then brought back home 1 with it. So now we got this another dog here.
What kind of dog is it?
Jim's like, "Oh, it was God. It was fate, that those dogs showed up in our yard." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I don't know about that, but anyway." Yeah, so that was in June. So now she's how old is Daisy, Jim? Is she like 5 or 6 months now? 5 months? 5 months. I got this German Shepherd Pound Cross, I think. Puppy. Anyway, that's how Daisy ended up here.
Have mercy.
Yeah. Because I was like, "Oh, yeah, we'll probably get another dog, but I'll wait till after summer. We got a lot of stuff going on right now."
The Harry Potter socks are not mine.
Those are
Just so you know. The Harry Potter socks. Those aren't mine.
Whose are those?
I don't know. Some crazy lady that lives with me.
She don't come in here and box your ears.
Yeah, she
Oh,
Probably so. I deserve it.
So I'm actually, even though I'm like so sick of yard sales, or having them, I'm thinking about having another one this weekend.
There you go. Keep selling the stuff off.
and just put out my, my big stuff, and then bring more stuff out. That my goal is to have everything in here in tubs, not in cardboard boxes, not in open bins, not in anything that anything can get into. So I have a goal in my head that I want to do that. So I'm thinking if I have another one this weekend, I can get rid of a lot more stuff. And, I already went through most of my eBay stuff and narrowed that down, took the listings off, all of that. And then, and so I want to get into some of this stuff that's in here, that's in open boxes and stuff, and get it out. And I'm thinking if I can do that, I mean, I just have to think, I've if it's stuff that I bought at yard sales, or maybe I bought it in a box that I already made my money on, then I'm gonna have to do it. That's what I'm gonna have to do, because I want to get it out of here.
Well, you could rubbish sale everything and then move somewhere warmer before winter sets in.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, and I want to get that garage all the way cleaned out and reorganized, and so that I don't have to worry about it being that way through winter. So
Yeah, and keep the frost and snow off your windshield so you can go out when you need to,
yeah.
instead of having to wait for the car to warm up.
Well, I don't usually, anyways. I'm a big fan of putting half alcohol, half water in a spray bottle, and it's gone.
I used to like to just chisel that little like porthole, through the frost, and then you drive like that until the windshield defrosts.
Yeah.
They got like this little thing, and you have to hold your head a certain way and look with one eye.
Yeah. No telling how many times I did that when we lived in the panhandle of Texas.
Bob Crack called me the upside down yard sale seller Sally.
You know what's it's sad is Roberta's new car's got heated steering wheel and heated seats.
Oh,
like we ever really need that?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Bring it up here. I'll use it.
I asked the salesman. I said, "Why?" Because all of them had it. He said, "Mazda puts it on everything now." But I said, we're in the South. We really don't need for it. And he's like, "Hey, just be glad we have something on the lot."
Yeah,
I had to take
dealerships here are real empty.
I had to take Sasha to he's doing shadowing for his OTA today, and I had to go by one of the largest Toyota dealerships in North Carolina, and their parking, their lot where their used cars their new cars are supposed to be is like just about empty. There's like 4 cars there.
Quit that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
I'm gonna sell our Expedition, and I'm like, I should probably try to get that listed like soon here while there's this car shortage going on.
Just sell everything.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Get the Jeeps and the RV down from Wisconsin, and you'll can drive them.
It's a
We got
great time to sell a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got an Aviator now, so I'm gonna sell the Expedition.
You got an Aviator.
Yeah.
The Lincoln?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
You like
old.
it?
Why?
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Well, we bought it off of Jim's mom, so we know how it's taken care of.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like
It's
my
nice.
mom-
It's a little small, but it's nice.
my mom's got a Honda CRV that she's had since 2002, too. It's got
Yeah.
77,000 miles on it.
Wow.
She never drove it. I mean, she only drives. She's the little old lady that drives it to the grocery store to get her hair done in the church.
Yeah. Those people we used to caretake for up in Wisconsin, they had a 1999 Suburban that had like 23,000 on it.
But the rest was eating it out.
No, well, they never got driven in the winter. It was only used in the summer. It sat in the garage. I mean, they only used the place 4 times out of the year, so it sat in the garage probably 11 and a half months of the year.
Dang.
Had no rust at all.
Our salesperson, he said he said his sons they needed to make some money for college, and so he said they were buying trucks down here, pickup trucks down here, and driving them to. Let's see, they took them to Duluth one time, and they took them up to Wisconsin one time, and they took some to Idaho one time. You know, it's like 5 of them would drive trucks up there, and they would sell them to the used car lots up there and make some pretty good money off of them.
Yeah. When I lived in Eagle River, there was a guy there that had a used car lot. I mean, Jim knows him real well. And he would go to Texas, I don't know, 8 times a year and bring home a trailer load of mostly trucks and stuff and then sell them up in Wisconsin. But then he'd also get a lot of like those flood trucks, you know. So you had to be a little careful with them.
And there's going to be some more of them.
Boy, there was pretty much all summer long around here on the highways. There's just caravans of used, beat up cars going down the road. You know, people buying and selling them. But I wouldn't have any of those. I mean, you know, you look at some of them going down the road. God, how's that thing holding together? Don't
That's
drive
the kind of
behind
cars
it.
I drive.
As I told my 2000 Chrysler stopped up the road, and I coasted all the way to the house.
Oh boy!
And that was time to get rid of it. You know,
our computer went out in our expedition, and Jim bought another computer, and he now is going to go through it, and he has to try to reprogram it, and you got to get the Ford software. He's going to see if he can do it. He's like 80% sure he can do it. Otherwise, we're just going to have to junk it. But yeah, if your computer goes out, I mean, on like an old car like that, it's pretty much crap unless you can figure out how to fix it.
Well, you might. I don't know how that works, but you might be able to sell it without even reprogramming it.
Yeah, but it won't start.
So, I mean,
that might make a difference.
Yeah, well,
you know
we
what I
bought
mean?
the
Like,
computer, so
Yeah.
he's going to put the computer in. He had to have it. When we bought the car, we only got 1 key with it, so you had to have another key cut because when you reprogram it, you have to have 2 keys. And then you go through. I think you get to use. I think it costs $50 to use the Ford software for 48 hours. So he's gonna put the computer in, do the Ford software stuff, see if he can get it reprogram the computer and the chips and the keys, and then it's gonna go up for sale.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going for sale. It's either gonna go to for sale running, or it's gonna probably get parted out and junked.
Right. Well, the way that I was thinking about it was that you might be able to just sell it without, and or sell just the computer, because you know, of that chip shortage and all that. You know, you might be able to sell it like that just fine.
No, I don't know. It's kind of hard to sell one that ain't running though.
Yeah.
I mean, because it won't start or anything right now, so it's kind of hard to, you know, most people want to at least hear it run.
Oh, Mr. Sadie's selling his Ranger.
No.
His what?
His Ranger.
Ford Ranger, little pickup truck.
You have one of the original ones, Mr. Sadie?
I think it's like a early 2000s one. Nice. I saw a picture of it.
Isn't it like a short bed
Don't they still make the Ranger?
They just brought them back, but they're not small like they used to be.
Mm. Yeah, it's a 2001. They're not small.
Yeah, they are.
Is it called a half ton now?
No.
Oh, okay. Is it F-150?
It's the little tiny. It's the little small truck.
The F-150?
No, it's pitch. Oh, excuse me. We were live. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
It's okay, but she's gonna get you for that.
It's the little small, not compact size, but it's small.
No. Oh, it's the one that's good for hauling eggs and kittens to town.
Yeah. And $50,000 worth of surveying equipment, because that's what I used it for.
Oh, Tom, don't get your underwear in a knot.
But you know what? We had at one time we had a Mazda, which was like the same size as the Rangers, and it had a 3-cylinder diesel engine in it. Hell, you could pull anything with that thing short distances. That it had a granny gear in it.
Yeah, Jim had a half-ton Chevy that had that granny gear, and it was only like a 6-cylinder. And he said, but I put it in granny gear and I could move anything.
I'm serious. This guy had a 24-foot Ranger bass boat out at the lake, and he couldn't get it out of the water. And I think it's because he had as much beer in him as he did for fishing the boat. But we chalked his tires on that sucker, and I hooked it up to the back of that Ranger, and that little Mazda, and snatched it right out of the daggum water with it. Because that's slow. You put it in first gear, that sucker would pull. Now, mind you, you're only going 2 miles an hour, so you can't pull it down the freeway. But
hey, Tara, you might know this. If you have something that has a 4-wheel drive in it, okay, and you're having a problem with the transmission, like slipping, if you put it in 4-wheel drive, will that
don't do that.
Can you use it in 4-wheel drive? No.
You can do it.
Well, yeah, but you can't drive as fast. I don't know what year truck you're talking about, like a Chevy. Hey, Jim Perry.
It's
if you
the
got a let me ask Jim. If you got a transmission in like a truck that's slipping, if you put it in 4-wheel drive, should you really be driving it around town like that? Not really, Jim said.
It'll burn up the front wheel drive. Is
it low on transmission fluid? I mean, how do you know is it slipping? Is it having a hard time shifting between the gears, or check your tranny fluid, make sure it's not low.
Yeah, you put it in neutral.
Yeah.
Let it warm up, and then put it in park, and then check your transmission fluid. But make sure it's warm. Make sure the stick is warm. Don't check it cold. It's got to be warm when you check it.
Okay.
And it'll say on the stick what transmission fluid you use, if it's Dextron 5 or Dextron 3 or
right.
Because it's a Chevy, isn't it? Like a 97.
The Jimmy is yeah, I believe it's a Chevy.
The other thing to look for is red liquid underneath the vehicle to see where the leak is. Because you don't consume transmission fluid. The only way you lose it is to leak it.
Oh.
So there's a cooling line that runs from your transmission to your radiator. That's typically where you lose it. Something happens that the cooling line either corrodes or something damages it, like it gets cut.
Yeah.
Transmission cooling lines are real common place to lose tranny fluid. And the other place is out the back end of the transmission.
Yeah.
Where the transmission end is, you'll see tranny fluid all up and down the drive shaft, because as you're driving, it's blowing down the drive shaft. But that's more rare. That's your rear seal, which is also not hard to fix. But it's typically transmission cooling lines usually where you lose it.
So I guess I'd check your transmission fluid level first.
Hi, Mike and Hank and Mr. Sadie and.
I had an S10 that the transmission went out on, and it got bad enough eventually where I couldn't really get between, like, it's an automatic between first to second gear. It just hang up in first. It couldn't shift out of it.
Yeah.
Is yours
Yeah,
that
I
bad, or
mean,
is it
I've
just?
learned a little bit over the years, but I don't think I've ever known whether or not that would help or hurt it more or what. But yeah, Mr. Sadie said it won't change the slipping much.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
probably
if
have.
it's like not being able to shift, you might have a transmission
Well,
that's
it
on its
might.
way
Yeah, I
out.
mean, it might be. But I mean, that would be the first place I'd look though. If it's low on tranny fluid, it's a hydraulic pump. It needs
What
fluid.
model is it?
The
what
plates
model
are
is
going
it?
together if
It's
there's
a
no, if
Jimmy.
there's no juice.
It's a GMC Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a it's a Chevrolet. One thing you might also check because it happened on our Saturn. There's all kinds of little fuses up under the hood, and because ours wasn't shifting out of first gear, and my cousin-in-law, I guess you'd call him, he's a retired mechanic, and he said he popped the hood and was looking under there, and he switched a couple. He said, "You don't need this fuse really," so he switched it with another one for the transmission, and it shifted just fine.
Huh.
So you're probably going to have to take it to a transmission place.
Yeah. Well, I'm not, but yeah, somebody is.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But going back to the driving with the front wheel locked in on your 4-wheel drive, back when I was in high school, back yonder in 1975,
It with the.
we had
Okay.
Wait! Back up. Not to interrupt Tom's story, but wait a minute. You're telling me you put this thing in 4-wheel drive and this thing drives down the road then?
No, I have not tried it.
Oh.
I haven't done it. Yeah, I was just asking.
Oh, okay. Because
I just know that it slips. Because Brandon's got it right now, so I just know that it's the transmission slipping, and I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, I wonder if you can drive it and 4-wheel drive, and it would be fine.
Oh, well, I mean, I was going to say if it does that, then it's your transfer case. It's not your transmission.
Oh, okay.
So if it's your transmission, it won't work in 4-wheel drive anyway either. But if it works in 4-wheel drive, then it's your transfer case is the problem.
Okay. All right. I'll let him know.
I'm sorry, Tom. Go ahead with your
Thank
story.
you, Jim.
Oh, there was like 5 or 6 of us, and we had Jeep CJ5s. Or CJ, some of them had the new CJ7s. Anyway, one of these fools who was a rich kid, he had one of those Levi CJ7s.
Oh yeah, we got one of those.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
We were out four-wheeling one day because being my dad was in the business he was in, we used to find some good places to go four-wheeling. He ended up bending his rear drive shaft. So we towed him back to his house with a piece of pipe and a piece of logging chain.
Oh my gosh.
He ended up taking the rear drive shaft off of it and drove it with the front wheel drive with the front wheels locked in for about a month.
Oh wow.
He told his dad was a realtor, and he had stopped by my dad's office, and I happened to be there, and I said, "Did Perry get his Jeep fixed?" And he said, "What's wrong with the Jeep?" I said, "Well, about a month, 2 months ago, he lost the rear drive shaft." And he told my dad, he said, "Brad, let me use your phone for a minute." And he called his son at home because that was before cell phones. You had to called his son and said, "What's up with the Jeep?" And he said, "Well, I got to get another drive shaft for the back of it." He said, "You've driven that sucker probably 10,000 miles on the front wheel drive." Yeah, I didn't think it would hurt anything. So anyway, Perry ended up driving his mama's Cadillac. It was the Cadillac version of a Cavalier, whatever that thing was. And he ended up driving that thing around because his dad took his Jeep away from him.
Oh man, I bet you he loved you. Oh yeah, thanks Tom for telling my dad.
No, because his granddaddy ended up putting a new drive shaft in, and it didn't cost him nothing.
I didn't know they still had like those oak wall phones when they made CJ7s. I can just see at Tom's house, they're ringing. Operator, give me line 10.
Oh, dang. You take your bitch Kool-Aid this morning.
With a pair of knickers on, telling on his friend, and then they get on the oak wall phone and yell at the kid at home.
My son was about 10 years old, and he asked me, he said, did y'all use those phones where you had to pick it up and you had to click the little thing to get the operator? And I'm like,
I had to go to the train station and have the telegraph guy send a telegram.
yeah. Madge, get me BR549. You people are harsh. And I noticed Todd's keeping quiet over there because he.
No, this is all funny, but I'm older than Tom.
Oh, I didn't know you were older. I thought you were younger.
No, I just look younger.
Oh, you just look it? Okay.
I'm so pretty that Yeah.
I guess Brandon already looked at the price for that, and it's $500 to get it. I think it's rebuilt, and then probably another $500.
It only costs $500 to rebuild it because Jim has a friend at a transmission shop. I think it was at least like $1,500 to $2,000.
He makes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he makes $800 on
that's what he clears. Yeah. So I mean that doesn't include the price of the transmission kit. Well, and then he adds on the transmission kit and well, that's his labor, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it usually costs. It's usually $1,200 to $1,500.
Well, maybe that was how much it was going to cost him at a junkyard or something. And
maybe he found a junkyard.
Sure, a junkyard tranny. That's about what it would run. It's the installation that kills you. But the thing is with that too. I mean, if you're going to take it somewhere, make sure it's somebody you trust, because that's a nice payday on putting in a rebuilt transmission or even installing the junkyard transmission. That's a good. I mean, that's an expensive job. So, I mean, they're definitely going to want you to replace the transmission rather than just have you add fluid. So make sure you take it to somebody that you know that's not going to bullshit you.
Yeah, for sure.
And make sure the car's worth it. I mean, sometimes, I hate to say it, you look at the car and it's like, this thing ain't worth
all rusted out and stuff like that.
This thing ain't worth $1,000. I could just go take that money and put it in a different vehicle then.
Right.
Is it a minivan or a truck?
It's a GMC Jimmy, like a Blazer. It's like the little
Blazer. Okay. Those are easy working.
Yeah, it's a GM product. You have to watch them.
Shut up, Tom. GM is good.
Well, if it's a minivan, you got to jack the body up off the transit axle or whatever else. It's not good. But trucks are a lot easier to work on. Minivans are horrible.
On that Chrysler, you couldn't change the battery. I could not change the battery in it. I had to take it to somebody and get them to change the battery in it because they had to put it up on a lift, take that front wheel well out, and then take the battery out and put another one in.
Yeah. We were when we were up in Wisconsin. Some lady's battery went dead. I forgot what I don't know. She had I don't know if it was a Toyota or a Honda or something like that. It was a 4-door car. Could you give me a jump? And Jim's fairly mechanical. He's like, ma'am, I don't know where your battery is. It was all covered up and all this shrouding in that. He finally figured out how to get to it to jump it, but when you open the hood, it was like,
way down by the front tire. It was underneath a whole bunch of
and then it had this whole plastic shroud on the top of it. You had to take off and stuff, which we don't usually like to work on strangers' cars in a parking lot,
Hey, does that thing grind? Does it make bad noises?
Does your Jimmy make any bad noises?
No, not real. I mean, not that I know of. I'm not driving it right now. And
well, my son bought it, Jimmy. And it did have a bad transfer case, and it was grinding like crazy.
No, I don't think so.
Remember him taking it back? Made the guy give him his money back?
Oh, I didn't know that was a Jimmy.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I don't think it's whining or anything.
Yeah, the guy said, well, it's buyer beware. I said, yeah, well, it's in your yard. He didn't know I'd already run back to his house. I said, it's in your yard. We're going to take you to small claims court.
Well, according to the guy that I sold the Chrysler to, as he was pulling it up dragging it up on the back of his rollback, he said there's a lot. He has a friend because he's down. He was from Lancaster, South Carolina, which is 20 minutes from here. And he said his buddy has a mechanic's garage. And he said he's doing all kinds of high price work. He's putting new transmissions in cars and trucks because it's a $30,000 truck with a bad transmission in it. You know, it's got high miles in it. But he said, you know, so they'll spend $8,000 to put a transmission in it and drive it for another 150,000 miles unless it's a GM, and then it won't last no time. But I'm telling you,
Tom, I
used
think you're serious right now, except for the fact that you just said you drove a Chrysler.
Hey, let me tell you what, that bitch would
I would
fly.
take you real serious, except for you just admitted you drove a Chrysler.
That Chrysler 300M would fly. I'm telling you.
Oh my God, Brandon wants one of those.
V6 in it.
Brandon wants one of those Chrysler 300s because he thinks he likes the way they look. I'm like, it's a Chrysler. What the hell you want that thing for?
Yeah, but I didn't have problems with the transmission like I have that GM product I've got.
Well, if you took better care of your cars, you wouldn't have trouble with a GM. I pulled a lot of horse trailers with a GM truck, and I've never had a transmission problem.
Mr. City said that his wife's Traverse battery is under the back seat.
I were all driving electric cars, and I heard like the batteries in those lithium batteries only last like 7 years or 10 years, and when you have to have them replaced, they cost like $30,000 or something.
Oh my
God!
In my Saturn, the battery's is between the front passenger seat and the rear seat.
Wow!
In the floorboard under the carpet. But seriously, Tara. General Motors had a transmission that they put in, like the Outlook, and I can't remember what the GM's.
What the hell's an Outlook?
It's a Saturn, a Chevy product. It's a General Motors car.
It's a car.
It's a SUV, mid-size SUV.
This is one of those crossover things.
Yeah, sorta. And the Chevrolet and the General Motors of the same model had terrible transmission problems. People were having to put new transmissions in them at 40,000 miles.
Well, I don't buy crossovers either. That's another thing I don't like.
Well, that's what
I'm from America. I drive a pickup truck.
I live in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I'm American. I drive pickup trucks. I like to use a lot of petrol products. That kind of stuff.
I don't have livestock. I've got
some kind of yuppie driving a crossover around.
As I mentioned before, I got a guy down the street. He's got a he's got an F-350 four-door long bed now.
Oh yeah.
And he had a Dodge, the same kind, setup, but a Dodge, and he put 200,000 miles on it, and had never been off the road. I'm like, dude, why do you have four-wheel drive, and why do you have a dually? Well, it's big, and people will get out of my way.
True that.
Wow.
Honest to tell you the truth, I only really drive like the dually pickup. Only time I ever drive it is if I'm pulling a trailer.
My brother just got a new. I know y'all want to hear this, but Tara will. He just bought a new trailer. It's like a 6-horse trailer. It's about the longest that you can pull behind a pickup truck.
Is it a gooseneck?
It hooks in the bed of the truck.
Yeah, it's a gooseneck.
Yeah,
okay.
A gooseneck.
I'm not going to get into that fifth wheel gooseneck thing.
Well, the fifth wheel is like a camper. The difference between
that's the one that's got the wheel.
A gooseneck, the ball is in the truck. On a fifth wheel, the ball is on the trailer. But they don't really make. I never really see too much fifth wheel horse trailers.
So so people had bought it, had ordered it. It got to the dealers, and they couldn't pay the balance of it because the economy had tanked and they didn't have any money. So he got about a $40,000 horse trailer for about 18.
Hmm.
Now
So what is it? It's a 6-horse?
it's the longest that he can pull behind his pickup truck legally.
Legally.
Yeah, you got a towing length.
Legally.
I know y'all don't. Tara, y'all from Wisconsin, y'all don't abide by such things.
Well, I only got a 3-horse. Honestly, I wanted a 4-horse, but at the time I bought it, they didn't have a 4-horse on the lot in this model.
But the dressing room is not finished, so he's gonna have to finish the dressing room.
Yeah.
But he was real
What
happy.
brand is it? Is it like a Featherlight?
I have no idea.
Because God, is it an aluminum?
Yeah.
I mean, 18,000 for that. I don't know what year it is, but I mean, if it's less than 10 years old, that's still pretty cheap on that trailer.
It's like new.
Yeah.
Brand new. But anyway, sorry we hijacked your channel for horse trailers. But yeah, I have issues with the mid-size Chevy products, which they apparently got that fixed. They've gone to another transmission, but just don't. You need to see about it, Sally, before it gets cold and you get stranded out in the snow.
Well, no, it's not something I'm driving.
Oh, is it not?
Brandon's, but
oh, you gave it to Brandon. That's a good strategy. This ain't running right. You drive this one.
Well, he already wrecked it twice, so it's kind of his anyways.
Oh, there you go.
It's cool weather should start setting in up there in your neck of the woods pretty soon, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was cool here. It was 59 this morning when I took Brandon to school.
I mean, you see me right now. I'm wearing a freaking sweater, so I have been the last 3 or 4 days. It's been chilly in the morning. But like yesterday afternoon, it got up to like almost 70, 75, 76 degrees. So still getting a little warm.
75.
Todd's at 60 or 75 now. So I don't know what we're at, but it's still warming up in the afternoon. But by the end of September, it'll be cold. Fall.
I say that to Jim. I'll be like, oh, Jesus, Labor Day. We better get some stuff done outside before the snow sets in. I still kind of have that mindset for up north.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we got to get all this stuff done before the snow buries it.
Right. You have so much stuff that you have to do to.
Yeah, because there's a point where that first snow comes, that one that sticks, where then it just waits till spring. Yeah, if it's
you ain't gonna get it done now. You might as well just wait. We're at 62.
My sister-in-law's husband is from Canada, and he was telling us this past weekend that he wants to get one more trip up to Canada before the snow sets in. Because they drive up. And then if he has to go up for like an emergency or anything like that, he flies. But taking the family, he drives up. He goes Asheville to Detroit into Canada.
We got rain today.
I used to work at that racehorse farm in northern Wisconsin, and we'd have to take these crazy racehorses. They'd be on layup, so we'd take them outside, and we had to walk across a field. And that snow, because it drifts, would be like above my crotch. And I could tell you there's nothing worse than walking through deep snow like that, being drugged by a crazy-ass racehorse.
I know when you're born up there, it's all you know. But if you go south, you won't go back.
Yeah, I saw that, Mr. Sadie. Oh, yeah, he's in our thoughts. I can say that.
Yeah. It doesn't sound good.
It doesn't.
For Dusty, which is really sad to say, but I'm pulling for him. I'm really hoping.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a fighter. I know he is.
Yeah.
Which is probably why he lasted as long as he has, but he needs to fight a little harder.
Yeah, no, it's really sad.
Mhm.
The school district
He's
below
young.
us is
He's young. It's not like he's an old guy, you know. He's
Oh, he's like my age.
damn, he's old.
And it's not like he had like a lot of health problems. I mean, at least not that I know of. I know Tristan had some, but I mean, it wasn't like he had
Tristan
like,
had some, but
yeah, not really. Yeah, he didn't seem like he had any like bad like health problems. He hadn't smoked, I don't think, for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
He's like
Dang,
most
Mike, I
men.
didn't
He's
know Foot Lockers were worth that much. Jeez.
Yeah.
Have fun
Wow,
shipping it.
Mike got a cha-ching, $125. That's great.
Yeah, we need to quit talking about reselling to just talk about snow and transmissions.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Well, tell us a good reselling story, Todd.
Well, that one's good right there with Mike.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Did you
I
see
thought for sure y'all would jump in on my post the other day and grab me out because I sold a knife too cheap instead of putting it on auction.
No, I don't do that, Todd.
Yes, you do.
No, I sort of quit doing that because I didn't want people to think I'm an asshole. So,
Oh well.
how many times? It's be like when you were a teacher. If you keep saying the same thing and the people keep doing the opposite, eventually you just not say anything.
You're mellowing in your old age then.
Yeah, that's why. And then, because in the end they're like, "Oh, Tara's an asshole."
he's saying you're getting soft, Tara.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I got big shoulders. I can take it, but no, it's just part of your charm,
I'm trying to
Tara.
be kinder.
Telling people the truth, whether they want to hear it or not, is funny. You're good at that.
Yeah, well, there's something like it doesn't matter if you can be right, but that ain't gonna make people like you. So
Yeah.
so it doesn't really.
Yeah. Starting on Biden, there you go.
Well, he's an asshole.
Here's a lesson for you all. Here's a lesson for you all. Beth said that she has to do redo all of her photos from last night because she took 86 videos instead of photos. Oh my
I didn't see that Idaho hillbilly thing. Yeah, that's horrible that people leave shitty comments. It's really sad is he got like scraped by one of these forum sites now. He's on this thing and they're just saying really shitty stuff over there too.
And it doesn't matter whether they were vaccinated or not vaccinated.
No, because
that's a personal choice. To me, that is a personal choice, and really I think people need to stay, leave it their business. That's not any of their business.
Yeah.
And it's just, either way, it's freaking sad. So
the man is the woman died. He's dying, or he could die because he's in bad shape. When you get on the ventilators, it's hard to come off of those.
Mm-hmm.
He's all our friends. Oh. The vaccine aside, if you said, like, let's say I only drank sugar soda and donuts and I got really bad diabetes and had all this health problems, would you put that on a forum and say, oh, you got what you deserve because of your life? You just don't say that kind of stuff.
It's because he has a YouTube presence and a good YouTube presence.
Yeah, and the thing got, like I said, there's this, it's not Reddit, it's something like Stop Anti-Vaxxers or something like that. It got picked up by that and they're like putting a bunch of stuff on it, which is sad.
Yeah, Joanne said that she thinks somebody removed the video. Yes, they removed it because of the comments.
Yeah.
His daughter is trying to still update us though, and keep us in the know.
People need to grow up.
If God willing, he makes it and everything. I mean, he's going to have a real long rehab, rehabilitation recovery. I mean, he'll have a lot of health ramifications because of this, which is just sad.
Yeah, I think Dusty's only thing
I
that
think-
has been wrong with him has been his weight, which has maybe caused his blood pressure to go up. I think that's the only thing he's had problems with. Tristan, bless her heart, she had all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she had like childhood cancer and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people just need to let them, they need to keep good karma out there because that shit will come back to bite you.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's what I
Yeah,
believe.
that's a really that I don't like that kind of stuff where it's like, oh, now they're using resources that could be used for, I'm thinking, it's a bad thing happen. Why would you say that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and you have, you have a right to have an opinion. Keep it to your freaking self.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear it. Especially if you're being heartless.
Yeah.
It's awful, and it just shows what kind of person you are.
Like if
I was trying
somebody
to be
ended
the
up
dog.
getting
Right.
AIDS, you wouldn't say, well, it's because of your, you did drugs or had unprotected sex or whatever. You would never think to say something like that. But this is like got this pass where you can say shitty stuff about people that didn't take the vaccine.
Yeah.
See, here's my take on all this mess. People have got their nose in everybody's business because of social media.
Yeah.
And they can hide behind screen names and all that. Whereas, when Dusty gets all straightened out, he don't know who it was, so he can't go kick their ass, for saying that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
And
they're
it'll be somebody who
hiding
doesn't
behind
even
the
know.
screen.
These are just, people that, this is how they feel and they're going to say it.
Yeah, I agree, Mr. Sadie. He says it's time for debate. It's not a time for debate. It's time for support.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But people got to just make the decision they want to. We have been vaccinated, and we stay the hell home unless we have to go out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like that's your choice to do that.
Right.
If you didn't want to get that, then nobody should hassle you about it. Really.
Absolutely not. But my point is that we're trying. Hey, Glenn, because it seems to be rebounding in North Carolina again.
Here too.
So we're just, if we don't have to go out, we don't go out. We just stay home and do stuff around here. It's, that's our choice, and that's what we need to do. Hey, Craig. Because we feel like that's safe, and that's safe. That I feel like that's safe for Roberta because her immune system is just about non-existent because of all the meds that she's on.
I would say yes. If you're elderly, have health reasons or whatever, you probably should get it.
Well, her transplant doctor told when she emailed him first. He said, I'm looking at the data on it. I'm, researching it out. I'll get back with you. And then he came back and he said, because we have I started saying the Motrin. That's not it. Not Medina. Is it Medina?
Moderna.
Moderna, yeah. That's the one we took. He said it doesn't have anything live in it. So he told her to take it. It would probably be best for her to get it, just on the safe side.
Yeah.
He said there's nothing in it that will kill you. So.
And I think it's per person. Like it depends on you as your health and your, if you have underlying stuff and all that, whether it's going to hurt you or not. And, nobody's ever had, really had this before. So they don't really know a whole lot about it, which, it's kind of scary if you're going to get a vaccine and you don't really know much about it. I just tried to research it as best as I could. And, like the Johnson & Johnson one, you hear all kinds of stuff about that one, and that's the one I got. So I was like, it looks like I did all right. I'm still here, for now, till I grow a dick out of my
We
head
didn't
or
take it, but I figure I'll be the last in line instead of in the middle.
It's just people got to do what they have to make the decision for themselves, and it's best to just keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Jim gets a real bad reaction from the flu shot because he used to give it when he was a firefighter. They'd be like,
Right.
"Oh, get the flu shot." He had a pretty bad reaction to it, so that's something we think about,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I have too. I've gotten really bad sick from a flu shot.
Mhm.
And so whenever I was thinking about getting the
Yeah, because the flu will kill you too.
yeah.
Compromise,
Oh yeah.
you can easily die from the flu. It's a very serious disease.
Oh yeah. I had to really be, I had to really think about, getting the vaccine because I was scared.
Mhm.
But
you know,
with the way it is and how it's kind of bouncing back, again, it's like kind of scary. I think it's scary for everybody, not just not just people that are vaccinated or unvaccinated. I think it's scary for everybody.
Yeah.
Mike, the crazy card, those metallic magnetic particles are nanites because they're reprogramming your brain.
Hey, Tom, you're going out there.
Hey,
You're gonna.
I
This
don't believe.
video is
I do
gonna.
not believe. I do not believe that. But
This video is
it's
gonna end up
so
on one of
what I
those forums, and that's the clip that's gonna be playing. Is Tom saying that?
Because I'm gonna tell you, no, if there was such thing as medical nanites, there is a lot more crap that can be done for the good of the humankind than messing with the damn COVID virus.
What scares me is you'll get these people that have the vaccine and they'll test positive, but because they're non-symptomatic, they can walk around and be spreading it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
You can.
I mean, that's
you can
very
still
scary
get it.
too. But yeah, you can still get it and be non-symptomatic, and then you don't know you're sick. Because I mean, obviously, if you weren't feeling sick, why would you go get tested? So you could be going wherever, spreading it around. That's almost to me a little scarier because now it's masked, where you
Right.
it can spread easier. But
We
well,
know
I don't know.
we know two people that had the vaccine, and both of them ended up getting sick. And not from the vaccine. They ended up later on. They got it again. And not as bad as Dusty is, but they got heavy symptoms.
Yeah.
And so people just, I think it's more a case of if you're concerned about it, keep your ass at home.
Yeah.
Just don't go out. I mean, you've got to go out and do stuff, but I'm talking, don't go walk around Walmart because you have nothing else better to do.
Right.
What, Tom? I love walking around Walmart and then I lick the shopping cart handles. And I haven't gotten sick yet.
Get a deck of cards. Sit down on the
I lick the cart handles. I don't wash my hands ever.
You said
Only if they get poopy.
Living on the edge.
No, not even if they're poopy, because then I know I'm building up immunity. The poopier they are, the better.
radical, Tara.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's time to get to work.
Oh, boy.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Before you do that, Nashana says that they work in medical device companies. It takes 7 years before a device can be approved by the FDA. Roberta used to work for the pediatric research department up at the hospital, and they did all these child vaccines and stuff like that. And they would have to be done. These drugs would have to be done on animals and then adults, and then they would go to like larger, like teenagers, and then smaller children before it ever got back down to the babies, because it was, and it would take years for that stuff.
Well, they bypassed a lot of it. So
Mike
yeah,
asked
yeah.
you if I'm taking horsewormer. No, you would be an idiot to take horsewormer. But I will say this, and here's the thing to make you go, Did you know ivermectin is on the World Health Organization list of essential medicines?
Yep.
Yes, because it does have a huge. Because yes, would you go and buy a syringe of horse warmer and stick it in my mouth and dose myself for a 1,500-pound horse? No, that would be stupid. But there are a lot of medications that are used in animals and used in people.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying ivermectin. I don't know what they were trying to do with it there. I don't know. But I'm saying is it is a person drug too. So when they just go, it's horse warmer, they're taking horse warmer. I mean, people, well, that would be dumb. But it is
I
a
know.
medicine too.
Oh,
I know somebody in Oklahoma. They had COVID, and their husband had COVID, and they they were like 2 or 3 days into it, and she was like taking care of him because he was really really sick. He like didn't get off the couch for like 2 days and wouldn't wake up. And she gave him ivermectin, and he was up the next day. Still had symptoms, but was better.
real quick
I
story.
don't know. I mean,
Then I got to go pick up a kid at his shadowing thing. I might have told you this before. Years ago, when I used to get a bunch of dads got together and we gamed. One of my friends, he had stomach issues really bad, diarrhea, all that kind of stuff. One of our other friends that was gaming with us was a vet. So he goes and gets his little black bag, pulls out a peel and a peel cutter, and he cuts about a third of that thing off of that peel, and he gives it to him and says, "Take this, you'll be fine in about 30 minutes."
I knew somebody. I knew a lot. I knew somebody that would cut butte tabs and take them, and I said I think that's stupid, but that's me.
And we were like, is this okay for him to take this? And he said, this is the same thing as, and he mentioned a prescription name that a human takes. He says, the dosage is a lot, it's a lot stronger. So Chris took it and he was fine. And I talked to him about 2 weeks later and I said, Chris, how's your stomach been? And he said, I haven't shit in 3 weeks.
Well, that's not good.
And he
Sounds
was
like you might need
exaggerating.
palate surgery.
He was exaggerating, but it stopped his issues. But the point is, there's a lot, like y'all said, there's a lot of meds that are given to animals under one name, and they give it to humans under another name.
They develop a lot of medications are developed for animals, but they find out there's a human application for them in a different dosage.
Right.
Well,
I got to go pick up my kid. Y'all have a great day.
Hi guys, thanks for coming.
I'll see you in Jersey. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm sorry, Todd.
You should be sorry.
Yeah.